In this video, we're going to write a test to test the delete of a beer object. So let's come back over to the beer controller test. And I'm going to scroll up towards the top here so we can add in the method for that. Create a new test method, test. So here we want to grab a beer object, of course. Again, we're just grabbing the first one out of the list. And in this case, we want to use MockMVC, form a delete operation. This time the delete is going to go against API v1. And now we can also add in we need to get that ID property set. We'll add in the accept header, application JSON. And this is going to expect back of no content. So pretty straightforward. I have to go ahead and add that. And that should actually provide that. If we do verify beer service, delete by ID, any, that should do the trick there. I'm going to change this in a second, but let's make sure that our test is actually running properly. And the one thing I want to show you here is how to use an argument captor to capture the property that's being sent in there. So here I'm going to say we want to make sure that the ID property is getting parsed properly and sent in. So let's come in here. We're going to create an argument captor. Argument captor. This is going to be for a UID. So that sets up the argument captor. And now what we can do is we can change this to actually use that. We're going to pass in a captor to the method. So this is basically saying I'm going to capture everything that's passed in to this. We're only calling it once. And now we can use a assert that. And here you can see I'm using AssertJ. If you're not familiar with AssertJ, that's a real nice library to utilize. So I'm going to say assert that, get that ID is equal to, and now we'll take the argument captor and say get value. So the way this is working, we create the argument captor. That is a Mockito class that we are utilizing. And this is going to basically sit on that mock and listen for anything that's passed in. And then we are going to get the value that was actually passed into it. And now with the value, we can actually run assertions on it. So basically we're saying that we want to make sure that the UID that was passed to the controller through the path variable got parsed properly and sent to that. So that's a really handy way of verifying properties are getting sent through your various parts of your code properly. So let's go ahead and run this and make sure that this is still working. So we are getting a green. That means that our argument captor this assertion did pass properly. So that is all set. So the delete operation is probably the simplest REST operation. We're simply doing a delete against the URL with a path variable in it. I don't think we even need the application JSON, but we do want to assert back that we are getting the HTTP status back from the controller saying no content, meaning that the delete operation did function as we expected it to. And now this delete by ID, we set up an argument captor to verify, in fact, that we are passing it the proper UID value. So we now know that UID value is getting passed into the controller. Spring is parsing it properly, passing it into the controller, and that value is in fact getting passed to our beer service. The mock is capturing it and verifying that we did get the proper value back.